Hey, my name is Dawnna St. Louis, and I am an international keynote speaker. I've been speaking now for about 10 years, and also I remember what it was to start. I'm also the CEO of biz-on-fire.com, and I got a bunch of people that actually sent me private messages asking me, from this group, asking me how do they get started in the speaking business. So I thought that I would just come on and do a really quick video to help you out, help you get started, help you get on your way. One of the things that you're doing absolutely right, by the way, is being here, surrounded by your colleagues, surrounded by people who want to be speakers or are speakers that are already a member of NSA. And I would say the very, very, very first thing that you should do is not just join NSA, but actually attend the conference, because you're going to surround yourself by people who are just masters at their craft, and that's your first thing. But I'm going to go over the 5 other things that you should do if you really want to get started and get paid as a speaker, okay? So, of course, like I said, I wouldn't say that, I'm not going to add this to the list, but go to the NSA conference and get the early bird, go there. And a lot of things, one thing that they do at NSA, by the way, that I haven't seen at other conferences, is that they always share rooms. So that's not number one, but that is one of the top things that you should do. Like, that is a foregone conclusion. It's like saying, well, you should be able to speak in order to be a speaker. I'm going to say the foregone conclusion is that you should be a member of NSA, and you definitely should go to the conference. Okay, but let's talk about the 5 things that you need outside of just being a member of going to the conference of NSA if you really want to get paid as a speaker. So the first thing, of course, is going to be the mindset, right? You have to kind of have that $1 million mindset. And the reason I say that is this: you are going to spend a lot of time, especially if you're doing this full time, at home working alone. Even speakers like me who do about 50 engagements a year, that means on average, I'm on the road about 150 days. There's still another 215 days that I'm at home, right? And so you kind of get home, you're alone a lot. You have to really have a very strong mindset in regards to keeping your business up and going and your content fresh and just staying on top of things. So you got to have the mindset of an entrepreneur, okay? It's not just the mindset of a speaker, it's the mindset of an entrepreneur. So you have to really get into that $1 million mindset so that you can consistently grow your business. So that's number one. And if you guys want to know more, if you want to ask me questions, you can always PM me. I'm more than happy to answer questions if you want to PM me to know more. So that would be the first thing. Okay, so now once you get your mindset right, let's get into some of the tangibles. So number 2 is this is all about your perfect profit zone. You want to be able to step into your perfect profit zone. And so what is your perfect profit zone? Well, number 1, your perfect profit zone is where you identify your zone of genius. It is where you identify what your talent is, what your passion is, what your thought leadership is, and your experience is. When you combine those 4 things together, you get your expertise. Because here's the one thing that some people will not tell you about the speaking business that I am going to tell you. You get paid more when you first start out as an expert than you do as just a motivator. You really don't get that motivational speaking money until people see you as a celebrity or an entity, and then they will call you and they'll just say, oh, we just want you on stage. Right? I'm at the point of my career now where I am getting we just want Dawnna St. Louis on stage, right? I'm getting more of those. However, I will tell you that is not where I was at the beginning, where people didn't want to just hear my story. They didn't want to just know that I went from being homeless to running a business. They wanted to know the how to. What are the 7 triggers to yes? How do you make more money and improve the bottom line? They wanted to know what my secret sauce was for success. And your secret sauce for success is your zone of genius. That is, again, your expertise comes from your experience, your passion, your talent, and your thought leadership. When you put those things together, you have a specific result that you deliver to people. So I will say, as a speaker, the specific result that I deliver is under the area of influence, and it's the 7 triggers to yes. So when I'm hired, people hire me for the 7 triggers to yes and the subtitle is How to Get Anyone to Do Just About Anything, right? So it sounds a little bit of that ethical manipulation twist to it, but it's very, very, very specific. The second thing I'm going to tell you is that you want to be able, the other thing that gets you into your perfect profit zone is being able to attract and work with your ideal client. Now, people who start out will, and I got to tell you, people who are broke say this more than anything. So you're going to have two ends of the spectrum. People who are absolutely broke and people who make a whole bunch of money. People who are absolutely broke or make a whole bunch of money will tell you, you don't have to have a target market. People who are actually right there in the middle where they are doing this as a viable business and they are doing the marketing and they haven't reached the celebrity status will tell you, you absolutely need to know who your ideal client is. This is so important. If you want to step into your perfect profit zone, you have to know who is willing to pay you premium dollars for the results that you deliver. You got to know who that is, because it's not everyone. It is not about opening the phone book and literally talking to everyone, right? If you know your zone of genius, you're able to position yourself. The question is, who are you positioning yourself in front of? That would be your ideal client. And your ideal client is the person who has a frustration that you can solve, that can buy, wants to buy, and will buy. All right, number 4 that you need to have. So just to make sure, we have our mindset first, your zone of genius second. You have to define that clearly. Then you have to know who your ideal client is so you can position yourself in front of them. And then number 4 is you have to have an irresistible offer. You have to be able to have an offer that they want to buy, that they're interested in, that solves their challenge. And really, if you think about it, it goes something like this. When I'm talking to my clients who are very interested in the 7 triggers to yes, I have to first know, well, what is the scenario? And you ask yourself for this, what is the scenario that makes your client call you? What is that scenario? Is that scenario, so I'll use my 7 triggers to yes. That scenario is, for a salesperson, I feel like I left money on the table at my last deal. And I don't think it's because I did anything other than I didn't get this guy to say yes to that last piece. If it's a leader, then they might be saying, oh, I have this new initiative and I can't get people on board. Or I have this new initiative and I have that guy that's sitting in the back corner with his hands folded like this, going like this. And the problem is that his head is a beacon and everybody else is following his light. That is literally the scenario. You have to know the scenario that your client is dealing with in order to make them an irresistible offer. Then you have to understand why that scenario frustrates them. So if I go with the leader that's talking about the guy who is a beacon getting everyone else to say no, then I could say his frustration is that he can't get this guy on board. And because he can't get this guy on board, he can't get the rest of the people on board, right? So now we know their frustration and we know his fear. From his fear, from his frustration, I can identify his fear. So his fear is, if I don't get these people on board, my initiative is going to fail. What is the fear of that failure? If I fail, I could lose my job, right? So this whole inability to influence and motivate could lead to a loss of a job. I don't have to say that. He's telling me that. Then when I go and talk about the desires, well, what do you want? I want to be the person that gets people on board, that gets them to follow my lead, that my word becomes, is the light that they follow with no problem at all, that I can influence at the drop of a hat, that I can even get the biggest naysayer on my team. I need an easy way to do that. Once they tell me that, I know how to craft an irresistible offer. I literally can go and say, hey, have you ever had that big initiative that you wanted to get moved forward and you can't? Is it because of the one guy in the back of the room that's crossing his arm and shaking his head absolutely no? What if I could show you in about 45 minutes how to turn that no into a hell yeah? My name is Dawnna St. Louis, and so now you get what I'm saying, right? I just crafted an irresistible offer right here on this video in just a few seconds just to show you how to do it. You have to have an irresistible offer that literally speaks to the pain that your client, your customer, your perfect target market thinks that they have. When you have your zone of genius, your ideal client, and your irresistible offer all perfectly mixed together, you have identified your perfect profit zone. Okay, so now that you have all of that, Now, so now you said, Dawnna, I have all that. I get it. Okay, I know the things that I need. So now what do I have to do? What's number 5? Your big number 5 is attraction marketing and sales. This is different from what a lot of people are going to tell you about, right? Because usually what they do is they talk about marketing. You got to send a whole bunch of emails. You got to make 1,000 cold calls, and you got to get people on the phone. And I mean, if you're not dialing, da-da-da-da. And it's, you know what? It's not that dialing sucks. It's not that. The problem is that when you can't get people on the phone, or you get people on the phone and they don't know what you're talking about. Well, the reason they don't know what you're talking about, by the way, is because you don't have an irresistible offer. And the reason you don't have an irresistible offer is because you don't know who your ideal client is. And the reason you don't know who your ideal client is because you're not stepping in your zone of genius. See how it all works together? And that's why you have to have a strong mindset. But when you do attraction marketing, which is different from marketing, you will find that when you make those calls, people are way more attracted to what you bring to the table. When you do attraction marketing and you send those emails, they're not so spammy because people feel like you are speaking their language. And when you do attraction marketing, the one thing that I have taught people how to use is something called a craveable keynote. Because once you do attraction marketing and sales, and you know the process to follow, and you get on the stage, if you do a craveable keynote and you sprinkle it in with a success takeaway, not only will you get the keynote, but you will get referrals from the audience. For every keynote I do now, I get 3 to 4 referrals on average for a full fee from the audience. And it's because I'm using a craveable keynote. So those are the 5 things that you need to have, like you really need to have if you want to make sure that you're killing it in the speaking business. And that's not even counting making sure that not only are you a member of NSA, but that you're going to go to the conference. Seriously, go to the conference. You meet game changers at the conference. So I will go over those 5 things one more time. Number 1, mindset. You have to make sure that you are that you have the right mindset. And that mindset, by the way, includes surrounding yourselves by people who are colleagues that are at your level or one level above, that bring something to you and you bring something to them. That mindset thing is real. It starts there. You're going to spend a lot of time. It's very solitary. You're going to spend a lot of time alone. You're going to have to be able to work that. Number 2, you got to know your zone of genius. What is your passion, your talent, your expertise, and your passion, your talent, your experience, and your thought leadership? How do you bring all those together, combine them in order to identify your expertise? Because your expertise, the results of your expertise is what people are actually paying for, not the process, so don't sell it. Number 3, you want to be able to work with your ideal client. This is not everyone. This is the client that you really, really want to work with, who you're going to make the most money from. They're going to get the most results from you. You know you can deliver to them. They can deliver to you. I mean, this is a very symbiotic relationship. It is not everyone. I'm not saying not everyone can. Everyone may be able to benefit from your lesson. Not saying they won't. However, your ideal client wants to. Number 4, you want to make sure you have an irresistible offer. An irresistible offer speaks to the frustration in the scenario and delivers on the desires and breakthroughs. And if you have a good irresistible offer, then attraction marketing and sales is that much easier. You close all of this out with a craveable keynote that really kicks ass. And let me tell you, you have a craveable keynote, and that one keynote that you deliver becomes 3 and 4 keynotes, and then those 3 and 4 become 12 and 16. I mean, it's exponential. And it is how I went from starting out as a speaker and going, oh my God, how do I do this, to literally doing 50 to 60 engagements a year, as well as running a very successful business. So hopefully that helps you get on the way. If you have any questions, if you want to know more about me, you can go to my website, which is myname.com. It's DAWNNA.com. Yeah, just my first name, kind of like Cher. Okay, or you can send me a private message. I'll be more than happy to answer your questions. I've mentored several people, including Jeff Ram, who killed it on the NSA main stage as a keynote speaker this year. If you guys saw his video, I am the Dawnna St. Louis that he was talking about on his video. So I was so proud of him. He did a fantastic job. Anyway, I hope this helps you out. I can't wait to see you guys at NSA. The winter conference is coming up, and then of course the main conference is coming up, and they have labs in the middle. Make sure that you join, make sure that you participate and do as much as you possibly can. The more you participate in NSA and get surrounded by the right people, the better your career will be. Again, my name is Dawnna St. Louis, and if you need anything, PM me.